what do you think is the essence of the roll-up strategy? Is it, do you think some of them are just almost laser focused on, hey, we got to scale and get to a certain earnings level, certain revenue level, so that they can then have another exit and have a liquidity event?
Sure. So if you think about how they operate in general, right, they've pulled together a large amount of capital from, large investors, and then they take that amount of capital and they go into the sector. What they're seeing in the accounting practice world is highly attractive, cash flow dynamics. And so they feel like the value is there. So it starts with a value approach. As you go to roll up an industry, and there's numerous examples of the roll up strategy that's gone on for 4 decades. At its crudest form, you're just building scale and you're adding no value other than scale. Scale itself is a value, of course, right? Because you do get efficiencies. You can negotiate better deals with vendors. You can streamline operations. There's a lot of efficiency. So scale on its own does add some level of value. I think if that's the only thing the private equity company is doing, they're leaving a lot on the table, right? And so I think the more informed ones and the smarter ones, what they're looking to do is to make the whole better than the individual parts. So you can imagine, let's say there's a tax practice out there, and they don't do any bookkeeping, right? Well, if you've got a core there and then you put it together with somebody who does do bookkeeping, right? Now you've got more than just the financial metrics of the two involved. I think when you start talking about synergy, that would, to me, tell you that you're talking, and I'm talking about revenue synergy first before we get into the cost side. I think you're talking about, with a private equity buyer who at least has a strategy that is beyond just pure blunt force scale. And I think the likelihood of that vision playing out is stronger, right? There could also be, any number of other angles that they could bring to the table. Perhaps they're experts at digital marketing, and they just feel like if I've got the backbone, right, I can just plow out digital ads and really increase the revenue. Maybe they have that capability, maybe they don't, but at least they have a strategy around how to do that, right? I think it would be very important, if I'm a seller, to understand what that vision is. It doesn't mean that everything they say is going to come true, but it just at least means that they have some vision that is not just, if all you're doing is putting up scale and then just cutting the cost to the bone, that's probably not going to be a pleasant place to work. Right.
Yeah.
So I think the way that they're approaching it, are they trying to grow the top line at all? Or are they only focused on how can we cut cost all the way down? I believe that will kind of give you a little bit of an indication of where they think they can add value, because that's what they're going to do, is they're going to turn the screws where they can add value. And the more that's revenue focused rather than cost focused, if I'm a seller, I think the better headspace I'm going to be in working.